You may have to take off 1 or 2 times, and we keep a record. More than 30%, you're not allowed to take that course. You cannot take an examination in that course. You have to withdraw yourself, and then you'll be allowed to take that course only with the next batch. If your luck is good, that course will continue. Because we at TAPME revise our courses regularly. For all you know, that time the course is gone and you may never graduate. Clause 2 and 3, don't even look at it. I'm just putting it up there. This is the worst case scenario. If you need to take an off, only then you need to do it. And you make sure that it is not happening. So, no marriages, no birthdays, no wedding anniversaries, nothing, nothing. TAPME has had the history of where one of the boys was engaged to be married and he had asked permission to go for his own marriage. And he wrote out a very nice 10-day leave letter. Because 13 days is the cap, yeah? He left on Friday, was married on Saturday, took the train on Saturday evening, was back on Sunday because there was a class. Anybody planning to be married? But that's how serious it is, okay? Nothing's more important than your wedding, possibly in terms of a leave. Students will be awarded an I grade, incomplete, and will need to repeat the course. Now, at the beginning and at the end of each term, attendance is mandatory. You had a registration process yesterday. This happens at the beginning of every term. And at the end of the term also, we have some formalities to be completed. Your presence is mandatory on both these days. If you're not present, we get rich by 5,000 per student. Okay? You do it, and if it is wrong, you get poorer by your money. And of course, the others are always there. But money is anyway involved because we are a business institute. Okay? So please be very careful. Registration on the first day is mandatory for every term. Presence in class on the last day for every course is important. I'm going to continue with the attendance. Students cannot absent themselves from any component of evaluation of a course. The moment your faculty member announces a test or a quiz, please don't go running to the faculty member saying, oh, you know, I've got this scheduled, I've got that scheduled, I will not be able to take it. No. The faculty members do not have the time to repeat a quiz or a test, and don't give them options like, you can do it like this, you know, I've thought about it. No. Your options are not welcome with the faculty members. They have enough and more to do. No repeat tests for any evaluation component. Are we clear about this? Yeah? Or do we need to start raining again? In exceptional circumstances, now, this is extreme case. For example, last year we had one student who lost his mother one day before the end term. Now you know that's a genuine case. And he had to be there to perform the last rites. And that kid was so strong. He finished and he came back for the third exam. And he's got a straight A in 2. A straight A. We'd love to brag about such kind of students. But this happened last year. So in the event that there is a need for a re-exam, well, there is a fees to be paid. MIP. At the end of term 3, as you all know, you would be going in for an MIP. It's more like an internship program. You spend about 6 to 8 weeks with a certain company. That is the prerequisite for you to go into term 4. If you do not complete your internship, you will be asked to withdraw from the course with absolutely no refund. Okay? While you're at MIP, you're not allowed to take any leaves. If, again, there is a situation where you need to take off, okay, you may do so after having taken permission from your employer, 1. 2, having spoken about it and taken permission from the MIP chairperson, and subsequently you will have to extend your MIP term by so many number of days. Okay? So, for some reason, if you had to leave office and go for, let's say, 5 days, then your last date at the company will be extended by 5 days. Are we clear about this? Yeah? All right. Ethical code of conduct. Please read that line carefully. It's been told to you all of morning today, and I'll just add a bit to it. We come from very comfortable homes, but I'm sure, for a matter of fact, we would not do stuff in front of our parents that would put them to shame. We would never ever do something that would agonize them in that way. We have a lot of our faculty and family members at TAPME who stay on the TAPME campus. They live with their spouses, their children, their parents. I don't think they would want to see any of you indulging in something that would have them embarrassed in front of their family members. Do you understand what I'm saying? Please do not project yourselves as people who are desperate. You are here for a reason, stick to that reason. Don't be a cause of embarrassment to any of our family members who are on the campus, or even outside actually, but more in the campus. You're going to be working in the wee hours of the night. Stay professional. There are wives, there are husbands, there are children, young children. There are parents, grandparents who are on the campus. I don't think a live display of anything is a good thing for them. So please behave like matured men and women. Okay? Respect that culture at TAPME. Value time. Your time, your faculty's time, my time. Don't barge into my office or anybody's office for no reason saying the world has come to an end and somebody has to save me. Try and tackle your problems at your end. Value everybody's time and stay focused. You will get to know who are the ones who are not focused at the end of your midterm. You don't have to wait for long. September 22nd, I think so. That's the end, no? September 22nd. Before that, you'll have your midterm. This is my favorite topic. It's not about necklines and hip lines. It's about the way you carry yourself, and we see that on your faces. Have a certain amount of grace and command the respect along with your attire. We are not training you to walk the ramp. We are training you to be smart men and women in the world of business. So carry yourself with dignity. It does not matter what you wear. What matters is how you carry yourself, and of course, a conscious understanding of where we are. Don't make anybody embarrassed or difficult to bear with you because you're wearing something so awkward and you can't seem to take your hands off your clothes. That includes hairstyle. That includes your beards. In about 2 weeks now, we'll find a lot of our boys who are absolutely sad in life. You be sad, I don't care. Get the beard off your face. And as far as fashion is concerned, well, then find out what are the real nuances of fashion. And you do know that there is a fine line between indecent dressing and fashionable dressing. Okay? A formal dress code is something that we have to bear with for all formal events, presentations. I'm sure most of you invested in good blazers and good western wear. But if you're planning to buy any more, just make sure it fits you properly. Not oversized ones, not ones that are loose and clumsy. And along with that, you make sure you have your attire properly. Don't wear bangles with the western wear, for God's sake. Have your hair done properly. These things matter. I think you'll hear more about that in your communication class. Oh, disruptive behavior. I am not even going to say what is disruptive behavior. If you disrupt, it is disruptive, period. Maintain your voice, maintain your body language, speak respectfully to each other, to your faculty, and don't get into an argument that will lead to a quarrel, and then you know who will win. Okay? And students found in the act of malpractice and plagiarism will be asked to withdraw immediately. And when you're yawning, place your hand on the mouth. Now, the reason why malpractice is being spoken about so much is that some of us come from, probably, some of us come from places where must have been a little lenient. Maybe they were very forgiving. I'm not saying forgiveness is bad, but there's no forgiveness in TAPME. Even if I want to forgive you as a PGP chair, I might have to step out of my role. I might have to quit being in TAPME, and then I'll say, yeah, you're forgiven, son, let's go. Let's move on in life. But while we are inside, I'm sorry. The damage is done. The consequences will be there. So please don't even think about it. I think we all come from families that have been trying to imbibe this into us. Don't make us call up your parents and tell them your son was caught or your daughter was caught doing this. You want to know how to be dishonest? I will give you 101 ways of doing it. But I will also tell you what are the other 200 consequences that you will bear along with each one of them. It's not for the TAPMians. Bad behavior, lack of integrity, dishonesty, it's not for the TAPMians. And we believe that you come from backgrounds that make you worthy of being what you are. So just don't get into it. Just don't get into it. Even if somebody tells you, yaar kuch nahi hota, yaar ek baar kar le kya hota hai? Bhaiya mujhe ek baar bhi nahi karna. Nobody died of drinking. Sure, nobody died of drinking, but I don't want to die to know that nobody died of drinking. So don't do it. Okay? I'm sure you've been submitting a lot of documents to the PGP office and the admissions as a part of your registration processes. At any point of time, if any document is found to be false, you will be asked to withdraw from the program with absolutely no refund. A couple of years back, we did have a case where the boy tried to smuggle in a duplicate grade sheet. Didn't work out. All your affidavits, all your undertakings must be signed by the rightful people, you, your parents. And at any point of time, if we know that they've been falsely signed or falsely brought in, please be prepared to face the consequences. I'm hoping there is nobody, and I believe that none of you are. You like the campus? People have worked really hard to make it look like that. Okay? Keep it really clean. It's a place that you would always want to come back once you're out of it. Somehow all my slides end with this one line. Violation will lead to a lot of disciplinary action. Okay? In fact, if we have children as young as 2 years on our campus, and even they know that you're not supposed to harm anything on campus. So please protect and respect public property. In fact, you will find some of the kids will come and tell you, "Bhaiya, aise mat karo." And you'll be embarrassed because he's just as old as 5 or 6. Huh? Do I need to say more? You know, much of our revenue at the PGP office comes from this. साल में 20-30 हज़ार तो ऐसे ही आ जाते हैं, टर्म में, साल में भी नहीं. Strictly prohibited. Don't take a chance. तोप बनना चाहते हो, बाहर जाओ. Campus, no. When you're in class, no mobile phones. And then don't cut a sorry figure in front of the faculty and making the faculty feel very awkward there, crying and lamenting and whining and all. No, it doesn't work. The poor faculty has so much to do anyways, and then you have to deal with this drama. Ma'am, first time, last time, no. That mobile phone will be confiscated. It will reach the PGP office. You will pay a fine, but you will not get the mobile back till the end of the year. So please have a backup for all the mobile numbers. Don't bargain for the SIM card. I break it. The mobile phone will not be returned to you once it reaches the PGP office. So wahin se rafa dafa kar do. Don't let it reach us. If it reaches us, you have a penalty of 5,000 and the mobile phone remains with us. So I suggest you invest in the basic Nokia mobile, not a smartphone. You may keep that in a switched off mode, and there is a tray in each class. It says the mobile phone box. You can put it in that, and after the class you can pick it up. Oh, what will happen if somebody else picks up my phone? Too bad. Because there are 50 phones, yeah? So don't bring it. Or if you bring it, switch it off. Let it not ring at all. There you go. In fact, first day में सबसे ज़्यादा collection होता है हमारा. First week is amazing. I myself had, I think, last time 10,000, if I'm not wrong. 2 mobiles confiscated. That's a lot of money. Eh? You feel so rich. All right. The convocation and the merits. This is towards the end. We have a lot of merit awards. All of you will be observed, ranked, rated for your class participation, for your enterprising behavior, for your grades, and for your contribution in terms of academics. And you will be rated, and there are a whole lot of awards. Please read up your PGP handbook. There are a whole lot of awards that have been instituted by our alumnus, by our well-wishers, stakeholders. So, for all you know, I think there are about 20-30 of you here who will be going back with 1 award of some type. And sometimes it's that one student takes away 5 awards. Now that also happens. Okay? So we have some fantastic awards. I'm sure when you entered the campus, when you went into the TMA Apply block, did you notice that big boards with names written? The Titan Awards, the Kinney Awards. So there are a lot of awards that have been instituted in TAPME. And all of you are eligible for it as of now. The difference is going to come towards the end of the second year, where some of you would have moved up and chosen to move up. Convocation, again, attendance is mandatory. That's possibly the last time you would have to do that with TAPME. But under any circumstance, if you are not able to make it for the convocation, you will have to keep us priorly informed. And there will be a delay of at least 3 months before the graduation certificate will reach you. For those of you who come for the convocation, you get all your certificates immediately, same day, and convocation is usually the last week of March. Yeah, usually the last Saturday of March. I think I'm pretty much done. Any questions? No? If any of you need to take an off for whatever reason it is, we have a procedure to follow. You will have to come to the PGP office. There is a leave form to be taken. You got to fill up the details. That also has information about how many classes you will be missing. If it's something to do with the institution or competitions, you will have to take the signatures of the Students' Affairs chairperson, Professor Vinod Madhavan. If you're going to be staying out of the campus because of that, you will have to have the attestations of the warden. It will then come to my office, where I'm going to look into whether it has to be given to you or not. Of course, there is going to be a dialogue bazi between us. I suggest don't come. But if worst case scenario, if you must take a leave, you're please welcome anytime after 3:30. Student consultations and meetings are only after 3:30 at the PGP office. Okay? 3:30 to usually I'm in office till about 5:30. I'm not available after that. Are you sure there are no questions? Now that's not a very good thing. You know what kind of people don't ask questions? Either you followed every bit or you didn't follow anything. No questions? Wow. Good job, Sina. So, please go home today and make sure you read the PGP book. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for the patient hearing.
Now, this is the part that really excites me, considering that the new batch of 2015-2017 is here. So what do we have for activities in this academic year? Well, the first and most important thing that's for you guys is the Bloomberg Market Sector certifications. Now, believe me, your MIPs will be coming very soon, and you would want to show something worth talking about in your CV. So we offer 4 market sector certifications. They are on equity, fixed income, foreign exchange, and commodities. We are also currently planning on integrating several financial courses with Bloomberg. I believe in the first year, courses like macroeconomics and financial management will be integrated with the lab. Also in second year, there are certain courses like options, futures, and derivatives, and like Nikita said earlier, the student managed investment course. We are also going to be conducting several training workshops for you guys. Now the thing is that Bloomberg has a very powerful software in the form of its terminals. And sometimes it can be very intimidating to use them. Believe me, even I don't know too much about it because there's so much to learn about it. So we'll be conducting a lot of workshops for you in the coming several weeks and months. Now this is the most fascinating part. We are planning the very first edition of this event, mind you, with Bloomberg themselves. We're not going to go too much into it, but believe me, watch this space. And now the meatiest part of the presentation, the Bloomberg Champions Program. Now, the Bloomberg Champions Program is an off-site internship initiative by Bloomberg. Just a caveat here, it is not to be confused with your MIP internship. It is a around-the-year internship, and it is more or less a full-time job, I would say. Now, the policy of the Bloomberg Champions Program is that 2 champions are selected from each college. But we here at TAPME believe in gender equality. Therefore, 1 champion will be a male student, and the other champion will be a female student. This job involves a lot of coordination between Bloomberg and our institute, TAPME. Also, you might be wondering, right, like what's the incentive behind this? So we have a leadership board that's compiled every month. And all the colleges across India that are enrolled in the Bloomberg Champions Program are ranked at the end of each month. Now, this is a matter of pride when I say this. TAPME was the leader at the very top for the last academic year. So, what are the qualifications to be a Bloomberg champion? Do you think you have it in you to be a Bloomberg champion? Well, the very first criteria, academic excellence. And this is the most important part. You need to be interested in being a finance major. So if you're planning on even minoring in finance, I'm sorry guys, this isn't for you. The second thing is, it's not just about academics. You need to have a strong interest in the financial markets. You also need to have strong critical thinking and problem-solving skills. And also, you need to be able to relate various concepts from the field of finance, economics, and business. And one more thing. The job also involves being at the beck and call of Professor Madhu. Well, as we come to the end of our presentation, you can note down our contact details. The mentor for the Bloomberg Champions program is our very own Professor Madhuvira Raghavan. His email ID is madhuviraraghavan@tapme.edu.in, and this is his office number, 270-1030. And these are our details. You can note down our email IDs and numbers. So if you have any queries regarding the Finance Lab and the Bloomberg Champions program, you know whom to contact. And with that, we, on behalf of the TAPME Finance Lab, would like to welcome you, the batch of 2015-2017. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Vinayak and Nikita. Can I now request the Samnidhi board to come up and make the presentation for Samnidhi? They will tell you what Samnidhi is. I'll just introduce the board members. And then there's a pleasant surprise that awaits after this. Okay, so we have Aditi Matthew. Aditi is the Chief Human Resource Officer for Samnidhi. Tarini Sridhan. Tarini is the Chief Marketing Officer. Ankit Pandey is the CEO of the Samnidhi Fund. Ruchira is the Chief Investment Officer. And Ankit Banwal is the Chief Review Officer. So they will talk to you about what Samnidhi is. It'll be 5-7 minutes. But these are some of the exciting initiatives we have in finance. And after that, there's one more thing to go, and then I'm done, Sina. All yours.
Good afternoon, everyone. Have you ever wondered that how Sensex or Nifty moves, or how do these equity research analysts recommend stock investments? So you don't need to worry anymore. We are here to help you. Samnidhi will help you to achieve this aspiration in this context. I'll start with the introduction. Samnidhi is a student-managed investment fund. By student-managed investment fund, what I mean is it is completely run by students. Starting from investors, analysts, board members to partners, all are students of TAPME. Then the question comes, how is it different from other 4 SMIFs that are running across the country in other B schools? Yes, we are different in terms of that we are legally registered as a partnership firm with and governed by ROCA, that is Registrar of Firms, audited under Income Tax Act. We have a partnership deed of our own, constitution, KYC document, key information memorandum. All the stakeholders, Then the question comes, we have trademarked our name, logo, and all the associated elements, including our taglines that you can see on top right corner. Objectives of Samnidhi. We provide hands-on experience to students in managerial decision making. That is, as an investor, what you learn. You learn what are the key performance indicators you see when you are giving your money to any mutual fund or fund manager. Second, from an analyst perspective, what do you learn? You learn how to interpret the financial statement, how to read the markets, and relate everything that is happening around you, right from the Greek crisis to RBI interest rate cuts, to red and green of the market. As a fund, we ensure that we safeguard the investment of TAPME fraternity while generating superior returns. We aspire to develop a strong governance system in the organization, which includes all the processes of coordinating and controlling our actions in terms of management, accountability, our ethics. Now I would like to request Tarini to take you through the presentation.
Hello, everyone, and thank you, Ankit. So I am Tarini Sridharan. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Samnidhi, and I'm here today to talk to you about what you can expect once you're part of Samnidhi's crew. So I wanted to start off with the Bloomberg Lab. Of course, I'd be speaking at the risk of parroting my colleagues, but definitely not at the risk of exaggeration, because anything that we have to say about the Bloomberg Lab, it is worth repeating. So about the Bloomberg Lab, you will have 24/7 unrestricted access as part of Samnidhi to every expert opinion, analysis, report, news as it happens, and whatnot. So every single thing that an investment manager might need, you have as a Samnidhi team member. Also, Samnidhi uses the resources of TAPME's database subscriptions, which amount to a whopping 5,000 in number. So you can use the database resources of credit rating agencies such as ICRA and CRISIL, and also the massive database resources of IPSCO and ProQuest database aggregators. And besides all of this, the best part of it all is that we have the ultimate financial dream team as Samnidhi's advisory board. Of course, we have our very own financial scions, the area chair, Professor Madhavir Raghavan, and associate professors, Professor Vishwanathan Iyer and Professor Aditya Jadhav. Also, we have none other than SEBI's joint director, Dr. Prabhakar Patil, on board, and the director of National Australia Bank, Mr. Vishwanathan Iyer. We also have Mr. Dhaval Vakaria, who is the vice president of Avendus Private Equity Advisors. Now, this is a firm that manages assets worth rupees 210 crores approximately. And also we have on board Mr. Arjit Mukherjee, who is the vice president of Anand Rathi. Now, Anand Rathi is a financial services firm which spans across 750 locations throughout India. So this is the amazing caliber of the advisory board that you will be supported and guided by once you're part of Samnidhi. Okay, so besides all of this, you want more, right? We always want more, we are MBA grads.